Hi everyone, I'm Stephen Pepper. I'm the third person who's doing the Frequent Miler 40k to Faraway Challenge. You might have seen Greg and Nick's video so far where they've been showing you what they're actually bringing along on the trip, and so I figured that I would do the same thing. So the first thing is my water bottle. Greg and Nick have branded ones. I'm actually just bringing my own one because kind of aptly it's a 40 ounce for the 40k challenge, so I can hopefully stay hydrated just because I drink a ton of water every day, so I want as much as I can. And what I'm bringing along is this backpack. Got it a couple of years ago for hiking, and it's been really useful for that, and it seems to fit all the size dimensions for carry-on luggage on the flights that I'm going to be taking. The bigger issue is going to be the weight limit, which I have a feeling is going to be over, but I'm hoping that that won't be an issue, so we'll see. It'll be a potentially interesting post if I get screwed over with that. So, what do I have in there? I have an additional backpack because some of my flights you're allowed your regular hand luggage and a personal item, so this should count as a personal item just in case they need me to separate anything out or if I pick anything else up along the way, but that's doubtful because of the budget. I have a raincoat because I'm not entirely sure what the weather situation is going to be with all the places that I'm at. It's nice and thin, and it's got like breathable stuff inside there, so if it's raining but still a little bit humid where I am, hopefully I won't get too hot wearing this. And in the backpack itself, let's see, so it has three sections. So I've got a zippy front section there, another zippy section there, and then I've got the main part with all the clothes and stuff. So we'll start with this front section, which is kind of a mishmash of things. First item is, if you watched Nick's packing video, you'll have seen one of these already. It's a charger that's good for all around the world, and so it has UK, EU, UK, and US, Australia things. So you press the button on the side, and then you move forward whichever type of plug you need. And then similar to Nick's, it has 4 USB ports, but the other thing that's especially handy for me is that it has a USB-C port, and I have a Google Pixel phone as a USB-C connection, and so that makes that a lot more convenient. Next up, I have a portable charger. Got this, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, and so it doesn't seem to hold a charge as great as it did now, but it should still charge my phone a couple of times. Got a couple of these Mylar blankets. They'll probably be a couple of times where I'm sleeping in an airport or somewhere else. I don't know kind of quite how warm everything's going to be, so I figured that way I can stay a little bit warm. I've got a poncho which I probably won't end up needing with my rain jacket, but it might be useful for covering up this backpack if it's particularly bad weather. I have it's a jogging belt for your phone, and so even though I'm not actually planning on going jogging while on the trip, I figured it could be handy when I'm sleeping in an airport or something like that and need to use my phone for an alarm in the morning, so that way I can have it kind of out so I can hear it rather than it being in my pocket. And what else? Got a pen, got a couple of pairs of socks in here. For the most part, I'm actually planning on wearing flip-flops just because I pretty much live in flip-flops, but I am going to bring a pair of tennis shoes with me to wear just because, yeah, the weather could end up being too cold for me to actually want to wear flip-flops. And I'd mentioned in a post, I think it was about like a month or 2 ago, saying that I wasn't planning on bringing any shoes, but I have changed my mind on that one given some of the flights that I've booked since then. Greg and Nick are bringing snacks with them. I know that Nick's bringing a ton of protein bars, but I'm not a big fan of protein bars. They don't really taste all that good to me. I also don't like peanut butter, and so a lot of flavours have that. So what I have is a bunch of wraps, and in particular, love these Olay Extreme Wellness High Fibre wraps. And this isn't a sponsored ad or anything like that. my wife and I just really like them because they're very healthy, they're high in fibre, they're only 50 calories, and my wife's actually doing Weight Watchers at the moment, and they're only 1 point. And so that's actually really good because most other wraps are like 2, 3, 4 points or so. So only having 1 point for that is good for her. And the weird thing is that they actually are really tasty, even though they're like high fibre, whole wheat or whatever. They're nice and thin, but they're not dry or anything like that, and they actually taste good. And to go with those, I have a ton of tuna packets. So I've got jalapeno, sweet and spicy. I've got some regular ones that are in water, and then I've got a few of the bumblebee versions as well. These are my favourite, the spicy Thai chili ones, and I've got a cracked pepper and sea salt just to give it a try. I'm not planning on being antisocial, so I won't be eating these on a plane or anything like that, in case any of you are worried that I'm going to be that really antisocial person who cracks open some tuna in the middle of a flight. This is more for kind of when I'm out and around, doing like a walking tour or something like that, to save me some money on stuff. Got a few plastic bags just because you never know. I think it was like Greg or Nick had also said in one of their videos that it could be useful for if you have wet clothing or something like that, so I brought them along anyway just in case. Got a few Ziploc bags, again, might be useful for snacks from an airport lounge or something like that, or anything else I might pick up along the way. So that's all the stuff, I think, in the second pouch, yeah. So onto the main pouch, I have a quick drying hand towel. It's a microfiber one, and so but it folds out and it's like 5 feet big or something like that, but it folds up pretty small. So just let's see if I've got anything to give a kind of sense of the size. So this is the tuna packet. This is kind of how small it can end up falling down to. Like, it's wider obviously, but it's actually really good, and it does dry out pretty quickly, and it has, what is it? It has a little hook on it as well, so if it does get wet for at some point and I need to dry it and I don't want it just sitting getting mildewy in the bag, then I can just attach it to the backpack and just let it hang off, and I can look like a somewhat superhero walking along with a cape. And similarly, I have a hand towel that could also possibly be used as a washcloth. I'm not entirely sure. Haven't tried that out before. Other stuff, I have toiletries in here, so this is all the stuff that won't actually need to be separated out when passing through security. So it's things like deodorant, toothbrush, bar soap and Basel soap and stuff like that. Then I have the other liquid toiletries. They all fit into a quart-size bag just because some airports have that requirement. So got everything I need, and then you might notice that I have a few mayonnaise packets in there as well. That's just in case my tuna sandwiches do end up getting a little bit dry, then I could just add a little bit of mayonnaise to those. I've got a few additional like Nature Valley bar type snack things, just because I'm sure I'll get a little bit tired of tuna wraps as I go along. I've got chewing gum just because I chew gum all day, and I'm like Monica in Friends, if you've seen the episode, where I will always have gum. And I have my laptop cable and my laptop, so unlike Greg with his Chromebook, I have a heavier laptop, so a little bit like Nick does. So it's a 15.6 inch screen, and so it's not the lightest of things, but it's the one that I work from all the time, and so that's coming along with me. I have my Kindle, and I'm fairly cheap, or as Nick would say, frugal, and so I've never actually gone around to buying a case for my Kindle, so I just use a Jiffy bag just because it does exactly the same thing and protects it. I actually left my last Kindle on our flight back from Bali last month, and so I had to get a new one just recently, which is nice because these new Kindles have one of the light up screens like the Kindle Paperwhites used to have when they first came out. In terms of everything else, I think everything's basically clothing. I've got one t-shirt, a pair of shorts, let's see, I've got another couple of pairs of pants. One of them's a little thinner than the other. I'm unlikely to wear these ones because they're a little thicker and warmer. But if things do get cold wherever I end up, then those will be useful. And these particular ones that are a little bit warmer, they're also water resistant. I don't think they're waterproof as such, but basically like the rain just flies off it, and so they won't end up getting damp. So that could be useful if I encounter any bad weather. And the other nice thing about both of these pairs of pants is that they double up as shorts as well. So they've got the zippy sections where you can remove those, and so that way I can stay cool if it does suddenly get a little bit warmer. And then otherwise I've got like this packing, well, it's not a cube, but it has another couple of pairs of t-shirts, a long sleeve pair of t-shirt and some underwear, and that I think is basically it for my packing list. So I'm hoping that I pretty much got everything. Oh, one other thing that I'm bringing along is an additional phone, and that one is so that I can listen to Spotify whenever I want. So I've created like a Spotify playlist that I can listen to offline, because you can download it to your phone, because I have the Spotify Premium, and I'll probably also download a bunch of other playlists and things like that, just so I don't end up getting bored listening to the same music over and over again, because I'm going to be gone for a little while. Other than that, I don't think I've forgotten anything. I do have a list of some last minute things that I need to bring, like my passport, my green card, because as you can tell from the voice, I'm British, and so I'm not actually a citizen, but just a permanent resident, so I have to show that. Got my wallet, actually. So it's a big skinny wallet, which you can fit like 20 something cards in these, and so I love these. I'm not going to bring anywhere near as many cards as that on the trip, just because I'm not going to need to, because I've already got any kind of budget to even spend money in the first place. So but yeah, that'll be coming along, and I feel like there's one or two other last minute things that I'll pack that aren't in this video, but other than that, then this is what I'm bringing. So looking forward to taking part on this trip, and I hope that I'll win. I'm not convinced that I'm going to be going anywhere near as far as Greg and Nick, but we shall see. Hopefully I've put together the best trip in your eyes. So see you soon.